2-minute Photoshop tricks with Ken Conklin. Here we go.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the 25th edition of 2-minute Photoshop tricks. Today we're going to take a quick look at how to make reflections. As always, we're going to cruise through these tricks fairly quickly, so feel free to pause or rewind the podcast if we're going too fast. And remember, always work on a copy of your image, not the original. And now, on with the trick. Hey everybody, today we're taking a quick look at making reflections for logos or images in Photoshop. But before we get started, I want to just give you all a quick update on a couple of things. First up is our Photoshop contest. So far we have 33 really great entries, and the contest is open till the end of the month. A word of warning though, Flickr's been a little slow on updating our contest entries, so if you want your images to be considered in the contest, I highly recommend getting your images in ASAP. I also wanted to mention that the Tooltip Tuesdays are probably going to be only available in video for a while due to some time constraints that I have on my side. So that's it for the updates. Now let's get going on the trick. So this week we're taking a look at how to make reflections on text, logos, or even photos. This technique is starting to get popular on the web and is even getting built into some of Apple's new applications like iWeb. To get started, open up a logo or something you'd like to reflect in Photoshop. First, duplicate your image layer by dragging it in the Layers palette to the little sticky note icon at the bottom of the palette. Now we need to make sure that you have enough room in your document to reflect it. We need our document to be at least 2 times the height of our original, and probably just a little bit wider too. To do this, simply go to the Image menu and select the Canvas Size option. A new dialog box will pop open. At the top of this box, you'll see the current size of your image. Below the current size, you'll see the new size portion of the dialog box. In this section, you'll see 2 text entry boxes, one for width and one for height, and a checkbox labeled Relative. Make sure the Relative checkbox is clicked on, then click on the little pop-up menu to the right of the width box. It probably says pixels by default. Select the % option after you click it, and make sure the height menu also reads %. If not, change that to % the same way. Now in the width text entry box, enter 5, and in the height box, enter 100. Below these width and height boxes, you should see a square divided into 9 little squares labeled Anchor. Click on the top middle square to select it. Now at the very bottom of this dialog box, you'll see a pop-up menu labeled Canvas Extension Color. Click the menu and set it to white. Now click OK. Now your document should be larger and have plenty of white space below your image and just a little bit to each side. Select the duplicate layer in the Layers palette and then go to the Edit menu. Select the Transform option from the menu and then the Flip Vertical option. Now your duplicate layer should be upside down in your document. Select the Move tool from the Tools palette. Then, while holding down the Shift key, click and drag your duplicate layer in the image window till it fills the bottom half of your document. It should line up perfectly so both copies of your image touch at the midpoint of the document. When you have your copied layer positioned correctly, release the mouse and then the Shift key. Now decrease the opacity of your copied layer to about 75%. You can do this by clicking on the little triangle in the Layers palette near the top, just to the right of the label Opacity. Then drag the slider to the left until it reads 75% or whatever looks good to you. Now we need to add a layer mask to the duplicate layer. You do this simply by clicking on the button at the bottom of the layers palette that looks like a gray square with a white circle in the middle. Now select the gradient tool from the tools palette and select the black to white gradient from the gradients presets drop down menu. That's located near the top left of Photoshop when you have the gradient tool selected. Now click and drag with the gradient tool in the image window while holding down Shift. You want to start just below where the two images meet in the middle of your document and then drag until where you want your reflection to end. This will fade out your reflection to white. Now click the tiny little icon of your duplicate layer in the layers palette, the actual part that looks like the picture. This will return you to being able to edit the actual image in that layer rather than just the layer's mask. To go a step further, you can add a Gaussian blur to your reflection from the filter menu, or ripples, or any other number of filters to make the reflection look even more reflected. When you're happy with your image, crop it down to a reasonable size, save a copy of it, and enjoy. That's it for this week's show, but make sure to tune in next week for another great show. And stop by our website to see our step-by-step guides, listener poll, wiki, and more information on our Photoshop contest. You only have till January 31st to get your images submitted, so get submitting, and remember, only one image per person. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.